Ooh. Apparently, I just got a notification. I can now heart a super chat. Just saying. 14 people here, 14 likes. Nice. All right. Good way to get started. Thank you guys for being here. Much appreciated. It is Thursday. And that means it's new Trek night. Well, discussing new Trek night. Hello, Dustin. Hey, everybody. All right. Let's see what we shall see. Ooh, Joseph Barbato, right off the gate, says this was a miss for him. 4 out of 10. Oof. So does this firmly cement in the Kelvin disco verse with the George Kirk Kelvin reference? Now, granted, we never knew all that much about Kirk's parents anyway. In my mind, it does, yes. So there's that. I think they're making a good case for that it's not the prime universe, prime timeline anyway. Well, hello, everybody. Glad you're here. It wasn't a great episode, I will say that. Look, I can heart. See, I can heart super chats now. How cool is that? So Olivia Julius throws in $5. I saw the Shost of Fleetpaw. He warned me we were killing and eating his people. In response, I ordered a huge feast for all of the admirals. That's not very nice. You guys are all like, just ranking it right off the get-go. Sturm von Alk ordered my new American Jacket bomber after review and mentioned you and Trekyards. Thank you, Sturm. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I can't wait to get my suede one, my suede version, which I had originally ordered. So I'll do a comparison between the cotton and the suede when I get it. But yeah, they've been really good. So, and thank you for watching that. As a result, ordering one. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, this one was a standard episode. It was still good. It was, as far as new Trek goes, this is fantastic. It's still good. Were there a few issues? Yeah, one of the main things for me was the Kirk and Spock meeting. As we know, Vulcans are touch telepaths. They don't like shaking hands. It was established in TOS. It was established in Enterprise. And here's the first thing Kirk does when he meets Spock, shakes his hand, and Spock just shakes his hand. Mind you, this is a more emotional type Spock at this point because he's doing this in a chapel and all that. So there's that slight caveat. But that was a big, well, not a big thing. That was just a notable thing for me. Also, this was also the first meeting of Lieutenant Kirk. I know he was promoted to commander, but it wasn't for a few more months. He still had lieutenant stripes on. The meeting of Kirk and Pike, which their first meeting, I think their only meeting, was when Pike handed control of the Enterprise over to Kirk. So that's a little bit of a thing as well. Everybody's just scoring it right off the top. Wow. Neil, I think his cookie was, I don't know what it was. I think it was a chocolate chip. Glad to see Hemmer. I think this was a nice way to bring him back. Yes, although they lied to us again. Wow. Sturm von Alk ordered the suede and DS9 one. See how it goes. Let me know. Yeah, it was a good way to bring him back, but they lied again because they said the actor's going to be in season 2, but he's not playing Hemmer. They made a point of saying that he's going to be playing another character. Well, guess what? It's just Hemmer in a flashback and zombie Hemmer. And by the way, zombie Hemmer was awesome makeup. Good job. That looked fantastically horrific. So kudos to them for that one. But yeah, stop lying to us. Just tell us, yeah, he's coming back as Hemmer. That'll get everybody stoked. and then I find out it's just a flashback, and well, not a flashback, like a recording, and also this vision. Don't stop fucking lying to us. So anyway, Ozzy, member for 41 months at the rank of Federation Council. Thank you, Ozzy. Sam is on the flagship before his brother takes command. His has a tiny ship. I want my cookie. Yeah, that's another issue. The Enterprise at this point is not a flagship, the flagship. It is just one of the 12 original Constitution classes that are out there. At this point, it doesn't become the flagship until after Kirk's 5-year mission. But, yeah, whatever. Again, kind of think firmly establishing and rooting it in this alternate reality, this disco-verse, if you will, or Kelvin. And I'm perfectly fine with that, honestly. Just because it's always had issues being prime, right? So 52 people here, 31 likes, guys. That is awesome. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, please. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be, it is prime. They say, if you want to believe it's prime, that's fine. Cool. That's more power to you. There's a very large chunk of the viewership that don't consider it prime, though. And actually, this would be a good thing to do right now. If you think it's prime, say yes. If you think it's not prime, say not prime. I'd really be interested in seeing the comments come in on that one. Kirk told Mendez he met him once when he was promoted to fleet captain. We all assumed it was when he was handed over command. Okay, yeah, that's true. And he was promoted to fleet captain in this one. So that's clever. That's clever. Olivia throws in $5. Can't wait for Lower Decks episode. The Sleek Peak was great. The Sleek Peak. What do you mean? Bless you, youngster. Yes, I know you cough. At 77 years old, most are youngsters to me. You know I cough. I haven't been coughing for a long time. Chuck A, Trek Fanatic, member for 40 months at the rank of lieutenant. Thanks for the first reaction live stream. Lower Decks next week. I'll be in Star Trek Las Vegas in 10 days. Ooh, enjoy that. Hopefully it's good with the strike going on and stuff. Hopefully everything's going to be fine. I know I've read a lot of stuff that say it will, but only issue I see is the bomber is that the body looks a little long compared to the movie reference photo. Movie jacket appears more like style. What are you doing for a buckle? I'm not putting a buckle. I like the leather there. I don't want a buckle flopping around when it's undone and like banging off things. No, thank you. I don't want a buckle on it. And the length is fine. It's actually not long at all. So if Enterprise isn't the flagship, what ship is? Don't know. It's not the Enterprise, though. Maybe they don't have a flagship at this point because it's just one of the original 12 Constitution class ships. There was no specific, well, at least the Enterprise wasn't the flagship. Olivia thinks it's prime. Mark says not prime. Joseph says not prime. Neil says prime adjacent. I like that one. Not prime. Jeff thinks it's prime. Citizen Tim Scott, yes, prime. Shea Locomotive Productions, not prime. Yes, with stories, no, with visual. That's a cop-out. You got to pick one or the other. Peter Lukaku, $5. We'll find another gas station somewhere else. Exactly. Not prime, although I wish it was. Prime almost, yeah. Prime timeline adjacent. Yeah. Skeleton Strange New World's #1 fan says, yes, it is prime. Not prime, but acceptable alts. Yes, I agree, Sturm. Terrence Childs, hi, everyone from the great state of Maryland. Hello. Armando says, yes, it's prime. Citizen Tim Scott says, prime adjacent. Verpine, when Uhura ordered the torpedo strike, I kind of wish La'an would have asked Captain. Me too. I thought the same thing. Fleet Paw is here. I'm going to heart his super chat. I can heart super chats now, Fleet Paw. He throws in $2 and says, never fear, Fleet Paw is here. Sam is irritating. You're talking about Sam Kirk, I hope. Super Extreme Prime. Ooh. BJ says, not Prime. They should start a new canon Star Trek encyclopedia to go with classic Star Trek. Verpine, not Prime. Okay. Tom Nardi, absolutely prime. Why go through so much trouble to do stuff like making sure dialogue matches when Kirk and Pike met? If it's alternate. Sure, yeah. Star Wars has 2 canons. Why not Trek? There you go. Not prime, but I think it is Star Trek Enterprise future with Archer because the NX-01 looks way too advanced compared to the TOS era Enterprise, but it makes sense if NX-01 leads to Disco and Strange. Prime or not prime, it's all in the eyes of the beer holder. Indeed. God, another living nebula story. At this rate, I think we should just assume all of them are. Right? Yeah. Yeah. This has been seen many times, even with the sand, the living creatures in the sand. You know, it's like referred to as ugly bags of mostly water. Speaking of, here's some water. And trying to make contact. It's definitely something that's been done a few times. I think it was done fairly well here, honestly. But the sound, it very much, I thought it was Gorn for a while. I thought the Gorn were nearby and trying to do something, but I think it was a good premise for a story. I love the Pelia and number one tension. You gave me a C. That's not what it is. And even with her saying, you know, I replaced your friend. Your friend died. I'm the replacement. It goes back to what she said to her at the beginning. Why haven't you talked to me since I got here? Another thing I do like is the nacelle control in the nacelle. That was pretty awesome because you got to see straight down the back. You got to see the holes in the back of the nacelle, the lights, and I thought that was really cool. And also the opening up the Bizarre collectors to pull in deuterium. I love that this episode starts with deuterium is Starship fuel because it is. That's why there are deuterium tanks. It's not dilithium. Dilithium is not a fuel source. So thank God they got that right. Anyway, what did the Enterprise do to earn the flagship stat under Pike? Nothing. It's not the flagship. Maybe it's Prime and TOS is an alternative. No, because TOS, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Sorry, Skeleton Strange New World's #1 fan. When TOS is shown in relics in TNG, it looks exactly like TOS should. When it's shown in DS9 in Trials and Tribulations, it looks exactly like TOS should. When it's shown in Enterprise and in Mirror Darkly, it's shown exactly how. That's not even an alternate timeline. That's literally an alternate timeline that they go to. It was always shown correct to the era because it's a period piece. So everything else is Prime. This one's different. So that's fine. And if you don't believe that, I don't care. Fine. If you think it's Prime, cool. I'm happy for you. That's great. Enjoy it. I enjoy it. I just, I have my opinions. Okay, maybe it's Prime. Yep. I can totally relate to Sam. My brother was an all-star athlete, and then there was me. Everyone kept comparing us. I don't know. Fleetpaw says, I find that the writers are trying to make the timeline fix itself. I call it nearly Prime, trying to write itself. Perfect. Destin D, why am I getting the feeling that Pike will keep the fleet captain rank? He won't. Next episode, I don't think he's fleet captain. I think he's back to captain. That's those old scientists episode with Lower Decks. So, yeah, it would be cool if he kept the fleet captain, though. Trekyards, IR here, 9 out of 10. What? However, nacelle go flew a bit much with little fallout, and destruction of the station they could not turn off was weird, but I liked the meeting at the end. Strange New Worlds would introduce a young Q or Trelane. BJ says Pike did nod his confirmation of a torpedo, but Pike should also have a verbal order from a correct Starfleet procedure point of view. Well, if it's all being recorded, all the bridge, call-outs, it's plausible deniability because I didn't give the order. That rash young Ensign Uhura did. So if Admiral Nagora says, hey, what you doing, man? What's up with that? He'd be like, yeah. If it gets a little too hot for Pike, he still isn't out. That's what I think. Dustin D. Enterprise is going to need one new warp engine, but does the other one need to be replaced too? Don't know. Fleetpaw, I wonder if you're going to see the Enterprise getting slimmer, more cylindrical nacelles due to the port nacelle getting an explosion. Only, yeah. Heck, even in Prodigy, they did TOS right. Prodigy and Lower Decks as well. Where was Sam Kirk during the Kudos events of Taurus 4? I don't know. Olivia throws in $2. They evacuated the station really, really fast. Wow. we don't know how much time went by. Yes, it seemed really fast, but it could have literally been 20 minutes. I know they were still in the same places on the bridge. I get that. But it's just kind of one of those things, right? Prime or not, Strange New Worlds is good. Absolutely 100% agree with you. BJ says, I rather they start a new canon that borrows and parallels the old one, but does new things, like how Star Wars streaming borrows from Star Wars Legends. P.B. Seymour, Pelia's last name should have been Adams as a nod to the fact that she played Granny in Adam's Family, and she is an alien relative of the family from the future. Yeah. Pike made a point of saying that it was only temporary when people kept congratulating him. Yes. But that could be the joke. It never was temporary. It was supposed to be temporary and just never got changed. Peter Lukaku, $5. How can the Enterprise be 190,000 tons and Voyager be 700,000 tons? I don't know. I don't know the gross tonnage of the ships. So, Stern Von Alk, I like to think Strange New Worlds is not even in Star Trek Discovery, but closely related tangent. Different crossfield class and no asymmetrical colors for Forgotten Yeoman makes it far more palatable. Well, there you go. Captain Astro, while I love them, these single character focused stories are getting a bit repetitive. We need some truly ensemble episodes in the mix. Sometimes the main cast feels like cameos in the last few episodes. This was good, though, as far as that goes. I mean, yeah, Spock and Chapel were kind of sidelined, but they got a good moment. And Mbanga was great. I think he had a good part in this one. The only person that was really sidelined and had a very small part was Ortegas. Even La'an had a nice conversation with Kirk, and so I think everybody kind of got a chance to shine in this one, so that was cool. Denser materials using construction. Okay. Dustin D. Since when is Ensign Uhura is qualified to give orders to fire torpedoes? Oh, she's not. Did Pike say Admiral Nagura or Admiral Nagawa? Might have said Nagawa. I don't know. That's a good question. Phoebe Seymour, Star Trek the Musical, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda as a comedy set on the USS Hamilton. Verpine, Pike was in charge of another ship and station, so he was a fleet captain during that period. Why would they put the communications array on the nacelle? They didn't. The subspace antenna runs the length of the nacelles. That's what she said. So that's why. Neil Hammersmith, Stranger Worlds pointed out that Kirk made first officer the fastest. Wasn't Trell Scott from TNG the quickest to first officer and captain? Yes, but that's 80 years later. So, yes. Dude, that's the next generation. That's literally 80 years after this. More closer to 100 years after this, actually. Olivia Julius throws in $2. Pike's peak was really peaked this episode. It was. BJ, Star Trek and TOS confuse fleet captain with being a commodore. A fleet captain is a chief of staff to an admiral. A flight captain's a captain of an admiral's flagship, but hey, it's the future. It's also not the fucking military. It's not the Navy. Everybody compares all the ranks to the Navy. Yes, there's a lot of similarities with the Navy and Star Trek, but it's not the Navy. It's an amalgamation of all averse military as well as, we would think, the Andorian, Tellarite, and Vulcan militaries as well, plus other Federation worlds. So you can't say that a flagship needs this and that, You can't do that because you can't. It's not a direct comparison to any military organization that we have today. She's probably beat Kirk's record. Yeah, she probably did. Feed me Seymour. I mean, surely having a communications array on a nacelle, the array would get warped during a warp. So wouldn't that be a bad design? Thoughts? I didn't really think about it, but no, honestly, I don't think it's a bad idea. I like that she said that the main thing runs along the length of the nacelles. Cool. Where else are you going to put the antenna? I think it's neat. Could be a problem. Maybe. But BJ throws in $1. Thank you. Your dollar for a hot dog. Thanks. She said Nagawa. Okay. BJ said, I liked how everyone got a part in this episode, even if a small part. It was a good part, except for Ortega. Captain Astro says, Paul Wesley is really growing on me in this role. I 100% agree with you. Uhura, Chapel, and Spock had no reaction when Sam Kirk dies from the parasites. They must have very short memories, or maybe they're just so forgettable, lol. Who knows? Maybe their minds get wiped at some point and they get most of the memories back, but they kind of forget about Sam Kirk. That's the other thing. Kirk says in TOS, his name's George. Only I call him Sam. And in this one, in Strange New Worlds, they do say, you know, nobody calls him Sam, and Lon's like, everybody calls him Sam. So again, it's kind of setting up that it's not the same timeline or the same reality. Not a big deal. It's just, it's worth pointing that out. Today I learned in a Star Trek meme that the Doomsday Machine was a blunt that Q smoked. Facts. Dustin D. The TOS Enterprise did have long-range communications antennas attached to the warp engines up to where no man had gone before. Enterprise got a minor refit. Yeah, that could explain the spikes in the front of the nacelles. Yeah. Peter says the gross weight of the Enterprise was 4.5 million tons. The Burke Kappa is 500,000 tons. Sure. Eric Martin liked the Wallow in Science Lab comment, which Sam didn't like. Who do you think would be the next TOS crew member to appear? I mean, the Uhura, Kirk, and Spock meet was a little nod to the future. Have a feeling the whole Nurse Chapel almost leaving teased bones. Possibly, yeah. Or M'Benga leaving. Maybe he leaves with Chapel. But you got to remember, Bones wasn't in the episode where No Man Has Gone Before, which is technically the first episode of TOS. At least it should have been. Anyway, so Scotty's the next one that comes on board, actually. So I could see Scotty being the next one. Why did we not actually get to see the USS Farragut? I don't know. That's a good question. You did see two of them. There were two Farragut class ships. There's also a little Saladin single nacelle ship as well, by the Collector, which I didn't notice the first time, but it is there. Need a big antenna? Put it on the longest part of the ship. Neil says, technically Picard temporarily took on the role of fleet captain in Redemption 1 and 2. Fleet Palace said the subspace communications antenna running the length of the cell makes sense because it is close to the warp field to accelerate the communications frequency to faster than light speeds. Interesting. I don't know if that's quite how that works, but interesting. Heck, no matter races should absolutely. Dustin D. Are they trying to hide the New World's Constitution ship? Are they trying to hide the New World's USS Farragut? No, we saw it in the last episode of season 1. So. Kevin G. They blew up the refinery and ignited the very nebula that the aliens live in. I'm surprised that didn't kill them. Was that ever explained? Well, it kind of explained with what Sam said, that there's a theory that beings from alternate dimensions or realities can lock on to atoms in this one. So basically they're become intertwined with the deuterium, not necessarily that they're living in it, in the nebula or in the deuterium field, but it could be that because they're non-corporeal, it doesn't matter if there's an explosion. The refinement process is what was torturing them and killing them. The refinement of the deuterium down to its pure form. So they were taking out the elements that were these creatures. So no, I thought the same thing when the explosion happened, but at the same time, it's such a minor thing to me, because these things are fucking living in space. They're living in deuterium as basically part of the deuterium, and I think that's what Sam was saying, because even Uhura kind of says something about it too, about how Sam says that they can lock onto certain atoms in this whatever, and Uhura says, so essentially they are the deuterium. So anyway, I don't know if that helps you explain it or not, but how about flotilla captain? Feed Me Seymour says, I figure a flagship is created because that ship has done a number of things that has helped save the Federation and becomes honorary designation, hence Enterprise after 5 year becomes it. Yes, that's the reason. Because what the Enterprise has done. It's not what the Enterprise has done. It's the Enterprise is the only one of the original 12 Constitution class ships that made it back from its missions. All the other ones got destroyed. Yes, they built more Constitution class ships over the course of the years, but the original 12, the Enterprise was the only one that survived out of the original 12. Mark says the antenna running along the nacelle makes better sense than seeing the Enterprise flying through space with a big CB antenna sticking at the top of the bridge dome. A whip antenna. Stern Von Alk, I would have liked if they lingered on the Jeffries tube a bit longer. The Jeffries tube looked great. Yeah. Scotty or Sulu, I think, says Fleet Paw. Yeah, either one of those is a good call to have join next. It's kind of irritating how they keep fixating on TOS characters in Strange New Worlds, but they ignore Cage characters like Dr. Boyce and Coleman Yolt. Yeoman Colt. Did I say Yolt? This doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. Yeoman Colt. Yeah, it would be cool to see where Boyce is. I think Boyce will probably make an appearance at some point. But yeah. Dustin D, maybe Scotty Mbanga took a position reduction when Commander Dr. Bone Leonard H. McCoy came on Enterprise to the chief medical doctor. Jimmy Seymour, I have a feeling that Pelia would be responsible for the retrofit of the Enterprise, which then becomes the TOS era. Someone who has lived thousands of years and love of art probably could describe the TOS look. Okay, we'll see. Peter Lukaku, Scotty from Star Trek continues would be perfect Scotty for Strange New Worlds. Maybe Sulu will take over when Sam leaves. Eric Martin, doesn't that refinery have a breaker panel even if the software is locked? Blowing it up seemed a bit extreme, but it gave Uhura a nice moment. Well, as Pelia and Number One said, we're not quite sure how much damage Ensign Saul had done. As far as sabotaging goes, because nothing was working. So who knows? He could have been tampering with systems that they just didn't have time to worry about. Neil says, I thought the life forms in the nebula were like the life forms in the nebula from TNG episode Imaginary Friend. Stern Von Alk, they teased in season 1 finale, at least hearing him over comms. For Scotty, he was handing somebody a tool up in the Jeffries tube. The Enterprise reminded me of so many other Star Trek episodes, Voyager and TNG specifically. Tiburon, the cage was already happened, so those people are already off the Enterprise. Yes. Yeah, the cage was like 5 years prior to this. So... you said Coleman Yolt. LOL. It's okay though. Okay, I thought so. Yeoman Colt. See, that's my dyslexia kicking in 100%. The Scottish Nightmare. An alright episode, just a weaker version of Night Terrors. The Kirk conclusion didn't really add anything. Feed Me Seymour says, mind you, they don't have to introduce characters as per when they appeared in TOS. Kirk was introduced as being on the Farragut, not as Pike's second in command. So in theory, we could meet Sulu early. Kirk was introduced as being on the Farragut, not as Pike's second in command. Kirk was never Pike's second in command, though. Dustin D. MJ Colt should be captain of her own ship by the time of New Worlds. Yeah. Not 5 years. No, she wouldn't be. She might be a lieutenant or something by now, but she was only a yeoman. Is Bones medical officer on the Farragut? I assume Kirk has a history with him before the Enterprise, given they're from A already. Well, he said, can I hand this to my chief medical officer? Can she see it? So it's a she, but he could be one of the doctors on the Farragut. Sure. Joe C. Wasn't Colt a red shirt at the helm console next to Una in the second season finale episode of Discovery? Who cares? Fleet Paw says, did we talk about the little latch bits on the nacelles open on the Activate the Bizarre collectors? That was pretty neat. Well, I did mention that, yeah. That was neat to see. And the even the TOS Enterprise has little 3 of them like that as well, which could open forward or could do the same thing. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Feed me Seymour. Here is an idea. Antigus wants to go on an away mission, eager to pilot a shuttle. Could you pair her with intro of Sulu having to work together to pilot something off a planet? Sure. Peter Lukaku, $5. So what's up with Pike's badge? They explain it right away. He's a fleet captain now, at least temporarily. So that's a fleet captain's badge. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The life forms in the episode sounded like the Breen. Yeah, they did, yeah. The Scottish Nightmare. Now will Chris Hemsworth be playing their dad? Play him exactly like Thor. BJ says, I think the Enterprise is the flagship after the original one, in the same way the HMS Hood was the flagship of the Royal Navy before World War II, and the USS Enterprise in the modern U.S. Navy is honorary. Yes, that's exactly what the flagship designation is. Today, if the USS Enterprise makes a port call in a country, it means that the U.S. thinks you're important and wants to impress you with the friendship and power. Yes. HMS Hood was used on world tours, an ambassador-like ship. Why isn't it? It's why it was famous, besides being big. Dustin D. If James T. Kirk mentions in this episode the USS Farragut was a female. The Scottish Nightmare says the fleet captain part only so they can have Kirk meet Pike was rather cheeky of them. Yes. I'd forgotten that was the exact line, but yeah, you're right. Hypno Amber, did Kirk take over after Pike's accident, or was there another captain between them? I can't remember. Kirk got the Enterprise before Pike's accident, not after his accident. He handed the ship off to Kirk, went and did his stuff, got in the accident, and then Spock found out about it and wanted to help him, so Spock stole the Enterprise in the menagerie. So, yeah, he got command of the Enterprise before Pike's accident. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions says, Yeoman Colt has not been seen on screen since The Cage, which was set in 2254. Fleet Paw says, Kirk took over and then Pike had the accident. Hypno Amber, yes. Sturm Von Alk, I would love if they had James Cawley appear as George Kirk, all his hair and all. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions, Kirk got captaincy in 2265 from Pike, and Pike had an accident sometime between 2265 and the Menagerie. Yes, this is correct. Feed Me Seymour says, I think Pike's fleet admiral status might actually stick around longer instead of the intended time, mostly because he knows his ending and they kind of got to give him progression before the accident. Yeah, we'll see. Tiburon says, by the way, the U.S. Navy does not have a flagship because there's not one flag officer that's in charge of the entire. It's not. Who gives a shit what the fucking Navy's doing? The Federation ranks and flagship status being compared to the U.S. Navy is silly. I already talked about that. It's not the same military organization or structure, so who gives a shit? Hypno Amber, cool, thanks. Brain fog day, no problem. BJ says, is there a Dustin A, B, and C? And what do you think about the Dustin F? Oh, poor Dustin D. Fleet Paw Swiftback. Pike went into the beep beep chair about halfway through season 1 of TOS. Yes. Zachary Gibbons, during Kirk's talk on death, I couldn't help but think about his talk with David and David saying, you knew enough to tell Saavik that how we face death is at least as important as how we face life. Yeoman Colt was cute. Yes, she was. Dustin D says, how is Strange New Worlds going to explain the timeline, how Scotty managed to serve on all 11 ships, including Enterprise? That was never a thing. Who said that? If it's in a novel, then it's beta canon. But that has never been established that he served on all 11 ships, including Enterprise. That's the first I'm hearing about it. The Scottish Nightmare, when Uhura thinking that Kirk was hitting on her. A JJ verse reference, maybe. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. In Menagerie, Kirk says he met Pike when he was promoted to fleet captain, so this might be permanent. Possibly. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions, Pike was promoted, demoted, then promoted permanently. Kevin G., the first people affected by the aliens having violent thoughts and actions were not placed in confinement in the medical bay. I thought they had that capability in a previous episode. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I don't know why they wouldn't have been kind of curtailed. Eric Martin, Pike's girlfriend won't like him making fleet captain before her. He may be headed for time on the captain's couch. Shea Locomotive Productions. When I heard the aliens, I was like, oh, the intro to the Breen. But that didn't happen. Yeah, they did sound very Breen-like. Tiburon. I was responding to a person that said the modern USS Enterprise is the flagship. Oh, okay. I didn't see an at. Sorry. Feed Me Seymour. Prediction. James T. Kirk may join Enterprise by end of season 2. It's not really Prime, more Prime adjacent, so it would make sense to have him join. Maybe Samuel Kirk leaves because of it. I like that. I could see them actually going that way, to be honest. They set that up in this one with the way they're kind of at each other. Fleet Power, pretty easy, Dustin D. 1 or 2 ships a year, transfer it often. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions, Uhura, Rand, and 1 communications lieutenant in TOS were beautiful. May they rest in peace. Scotty himself said in Relics, he told Picard he'd served on 11 ships, but Enterprise was the first one he'd served on as chief engineer. Oh, 11 ships. I thought you meant all of the other 11 Constitution-class ships. I'd have to serve on every Constitution-class ship because the original 12, right? That's what I thought they were talking about. Okay, 11 ships. That's interesting. I think it's fine. He served on them and not as chief engineer. He starts out as like a low ensign in engineering and then just keeps getting reassignment and shuffled around. I think that's fine. I think it's possible to serve on that many ships. I thought you meant all 11. I thought you meant all 12 of the Constitution class ships, like the 11 other ships and the Enterprise. I was like, that is silly. That would never happen. So my bad. I misunderstood. They tied in canon with Kirk meeting Pike when Pike was a fleet captain. They did. Scotty had served on 11 shuttles and runabouts before the Enterprise. Neil says Scotty served aboard 11 starships in the career spanning 52 years per the Star Trek Encyclopedia. Okay. Peter Lukaku, what's new with you? Any events you're looking forward to? Any away missions coming soon? The only official event I'm looking forward to is London Comic Con in September. Other than that, not really. Strange New Worlds Enterprise seems more like a cruise ship than anything else. A lot of luxuries. Jazz lounge, really? Hey, I'm late, but I'm here. Hey, Mark, how's it going? One of those ships Scotty served on was a recruiting display in a space station food court. Mark enjoyed the episode. Good, so did we. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions. That is just a lounge, not a jazz lounge. Thought you would be at Oppenheimer. So why the fuck would I go to Oppenheimer? I mean, it looks okay. I don't want to see it in theaters. I'd rather just watch it when it comes out on streaming. But no, it's not a movie I'd want to see opening night. Sorry. Justin D. In TNG Dyson Sphere episode, Scotty mentions to Picard on a holodeck that he served on 11 ships, including Enterprise TOS. And Scotty, first chief engineer officer. Scotty fixed the replicators in the Chinese restaurant while stationed on the USS Recruit at Starbase 3. TOS to Picard is Prime. JJ Universe directly spins off the span because of Nimoy. My theory is that if Star Trek 4 movie uses a time travel plot with George Kirk, leads to Annex 1, Discovery, Strange New Worlds. Cool. Hypno Amber, I gotta run. The Spawn want a ride to the store. Say hi to the Spawn for me, Hypno Amber. Tiburon technically served on the Excelsior 2 while it was in space. That's true. That is true. Because he was assigned to oversee the work on the Excelsior to make sure that the transwarp was working properly for the trial run. So does that count as, I don't know. That's a good question. I think it would, though. Yeah, I think that would count as one of them. Do you think Strange New Worlds showrunners had a Canon master to keep their stories in line? I mean, they're doing a way better job than Discovery, so I would say yes. No, 10 ships prior to the NX-01. Enterprise was the 11th. Sorry, just 1 second, guys. Oh my God. Scotty picks. Okay. I thought this was one of the better episodes of this season, and once again, it involved Paul Wesley as Kirk. He's continuing to run me. If they do a reboot of TOS, I am slowly buying it. They won't do a reboot of TOS, but yes, he's growing on me as well. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Steven Fathry from Tex Trek is here. Dustin D, how does Strange New Worlds Enterprise seem to be underpopulated except for the bars and bridge? His Pike crew still smallish, around 203 officers and crew. Yeah, I think so. That's probably why they have way bigger quarters. Because when Kirk gets the Enterprise, it goes up to 430 crews, so that's like adding like more than 200 individuals. Did Strange New Worlds mess up the Farragut class? It was one of the original 12. Yes, they did. They screwed that up. Joseph Barbato, I think it counts because that's how Scotty got his promotion to captain. His brief stint on the Excelsior counts. Peter Locaco throws in $5. Thank you. Notice they played similar jazz music to Star Trek 3 Space Dock at the end of the episode. Nostalgic. Actually, yeah, you're right. I knew I recognized it. I knew it sounded familiar. Oof. All right, we have 74 people here with 47 likes. That's a palindrome. Is that what it is? The same forward and back. Anyway, yeah, hit that like button if you haven't. Try to get those likes up at least to 50. That'd be awesome. Scotty also sabotaged the Excelsior, managed to make Enterprise operational with just bridge crew at the same time. Yeah. If you are assigned to a location, Starship, or Starbase, it counts in your Starfleet recording as a record as posting. BJ says Scotty served aboard a garbage scow number 6 on Deep Space K5 while an ensign. It's why he reacted the way he did to Charles. He never got the smell of the Klingon takeout. That's good. That's good. I like that. so 3 different hoods at Lexington's, yeah. Dustin D, why does New World James T. Kirk have to spend 6 months training his, 4 months, I think he said, before actually taking just a first officer's job on the USS Farragut? Good question. Don't know. What did you think of Paul Wesley's performance in this episode? I thought it was better. Yeah, I thought he did good. He did good, very good in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow as well, that episode. So, would be interesting to see Worf's dad as the betrayal plot unfold in Strange New Worlds with a young baby Worf in the background. No, Worf is not that old. Sorry. I think the time travel episode is my favorite episode of the season. I did not like how undefined the aliens were in this episode. Phoebe Seymour says they should get Will Ferrell to be in Strange New Worlds. Hold on, playing a Mugatu. I think you mean a Mugatu, but yeah, Mugatu from Zoolander. Hey Don, Defiant says that is almost 80 years after Strange New World and 60 after TOS. My only gripe with this season is we need more Pike. Maybe we get more of that in the final 4 episodes of the season. I know Anson Mount has family things at the start of the season. Yes. I loved the music at the end of the episode. It gave me 10 Forward vibes with Riker playing. We had way too little of Captain Pike in New World Season 2. War God 6 says, I forgot today was Thursday. LOL. Been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag all week. I'm hooked. LOL. Older game, I know, but I'm here and I don't mind. Spoilers. Makes me want to watch it more. Feed Me Seymour says, would be good to leave at least a few nods to the future. They could serve as Chateau Picard wine on the Enterprise. Sure, it's before Picard was born, but his grandparents probably still made wine. They did. There was a Chateau Picard in Strange New Worlds. It was in the last episode. When Amanda was there, the wine they're drinking, that's Chateau Picard. So it has been used in Strange New Worlds already. Joe C. By the way, the security guard was a bad shot. Yeah. And his phaser blew a hole in the wall. Stun setting? Yeah, I noticed that too. This must be the last of James Kirk since he can only meet Pike once. No. They're being cheeky. Because I think the line is, I first met him when he was promoted to fleet captain, which a lot of people assumed all these years. Once he got promoted to fleet captain, he lost command of the Enterprise, and that's when the handover to Kirk happened. So they're subverting your expectations with that one. I was impressed with the chemistry between Celia Rose Gooding and Paul Wesley. I did get a chuckle as I got the same, are you sure about the size email from New American Jackets? Yeah. Peter Lukaku, they're trying to mitigate their people screwing up the sizing. Peter Lukaku, $10. Big question, where do you think this season is heading? To space, the final frontier, where no man has gone before. All the above. It's going, I don't know where it's going. It's just going. Phoebe Seymour, what TOS characters, not crew, but episode specific of TOS would you like to see cameo as a character in Strange New Worlds? TOS characters, not Dr. Corby. I'd like to see Dr. Corby come back with Chapel. There's a lot of possibilities, actually. I would never have said to Pring, but yet we get to Pring, so that's cool. I mean, you could bring Harry Mudd back. He was in a couple episodes of Discovery, and I thought he did a pretty good job as Harry Mudd, so... No, couldn't do that. J.T. Cogley, attorney at law, could make an appearance. There's a lot of people. That's a very good question. Not necessarily the only time Kurt meets Pike. It was merely stated that the first time is when he was weak. Yes, exactly. Enterprise B was christened with Chateau Picard. It was. Northwest Railfan. Pretty decent episode. No, hold on. The Scottish Nightmare. The Enterprise B was not christened with Chateau Picard. It was christened with Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon champagne. It was not christened with Chateau Picard. No. Northwest Railfan. Pretty decent episode. Basically, the reboot of Kelvin movies should have been. But the reboot of the Kelvin movie should have been. Agreed. 100%. The Nemesis style transparent symbols was great. I feel Khan is going to make an appearance at some point in Strange New Worlds, if, as I feel Leon is getting this mentioned a few times. It seems inevitable we see Khan at some point. We already did. We saw him like 2 or 3 episodes ago as a kid. Dustin D. Kirk did not take command. Kirk did not take command. Will not earlier the 2264, more likely 2265. Peepaw said, didn't they christen the Enterprise B with a bottle of Chateau Picard? Dom Perignon? I don't think it said Chateau Picard. I thought it was just Dom Perignon. Somebody look that up. Peepaw, check. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. When do you think they will introduce McCoy? Don't know. Neil Hammersmith. I think the roadmap with Strange New Worlds will have a handoff from Pike to Kirk. I do think if they do something like this, they will not introduce the full TOS crew. Okay. Soda Cracker says, I found it negligent when Uhura had access to a phaser and even left alone in the corridors of the ship when it was confirmed she suffered from the same affliction Lieutenant Ramon had. Yeah. Did you notice, though, Uhura's phaser was the only one that didn't have the blue ring that was set to stun? The security officers had the blue ring, stun. Lon had stun. It was glowing blue, as it should. Pike, stun. Kirk, stun. Uhura, right beside Kirk, the ring wasn't lit up. So it's like they gave them a deactivated phaser. Say, here, you can have this. Probably a mistake, but will we actually get Cybok? That'd be cool. I think that would be great. How bad is Hollywood's strict lockout affecting New World Season 3? It's stalled it. I think they got some filming done, or they were in pre-production or something. But yeah, they can't. It's ended. It's effectively ended it until this strike's over. So, Richard Daystrom, that's a good call out. Yes. Will we ever see Gary Seven? I thought I might have seen him in Tomorrow. That would be also very cool. Well, we know Cybok is in Spock's ex-rehab program for the criminally insane. Jamie, it was so nice to see Hammer again. It was. Maybe McCoy in Season 3? I don't think you'll see McCoy in Season 3, no. Zachary, you got to remember, the episode where No Man Has Gone Before was the first episode of TOS. At least canonically it was supposed to be, not fucking the Salt Vampire one. So, the Man Trap. So, Where No Man Has Gone Before was the first episode. They had the different uniforms. Sulu was there, Uhura was there, Uhura was wearing yellow, and there was no McCoy. McCoy wasn't on board the ship yet. Scotty was there. There was another doctor, but there wasn't McCoy. So McCoy doesn't come on anytime soon. A Bottle of Dom Perignon Vintage 2265. There you go. How to make a J.J. Abrams' 4th Trek movie. Kirk travels back in time to meet his day. They go further back in time and crash into Bezo New Horizon and take hostage by William Shatner. Kirk took command in 2265. His 5-year mission began and ended in 2270, as told in Q2. Yeah, but okay. Whatever. Moving on. Dustin D. Did the USS Farragut head to tow Enterprise with tractor beams to get Enterprise back to Starbase? Repair base faster. How? The Enterprise and the Farragut had to dump the deuterium reserves, so they're both out of fuel. So no. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. I guess Kirk always meets Uhura at the bar in every reality. There you go. Feed me, although she said her name was Naoda quite a few times in this episode. So, okay, it wasn't Chateau Picard Dom Perignon, but it was vintage 2265, a good year if I remember correctly. Kirk, William Decker cameo. Well, just Captain Decker. Was his name William? No, his son's name is William. What was Decker's name? From Doomsday Machine. Anyway, Eric Martin. Kirk hitting on Uhura at the bar reminded me of the same scene in Star Trek 2009. What are your new away missions? How's the Camaro? I don't have any new away missions, really. The Camaro's good. Running good. Mark Piper was in Where No Man Has Gone Before. Tiburon, we could at least get William Decker's dad. He is Captain or Commodore on one of the Connies. He's in the Doomsday Machine episode in TOS, by the way. Yes. But not anymore. Yeah. I wish we could have seen the Farragut again. I don't. It was fucking ugly. It's an ugly ship. Those curved struts just are awful. Diesel robot, and you do see it. You see it in when they're evacuating the thing. You can see it way in the distance. Diesel robot just got here. The static noise followed by hallucinations reminded me so much of Stargate Atlantis episode with the whales and the solar flare. Northwest Rail fan, kind of odd they didn't show the Farragut when we already saw it. They did show it though. It is when they're evacuating. If you look in the distance, you can see it. There's also another one. There's another same class of ship, and then there's like the single nacelle one from like one of the first episodes is also in the distance. I don't know why there's so many ships there when they only say the Enterprise, the Farragut, and the anyway, whatever. It's fine. Matt Decker, thank you, Fleetpaw. I'd love to hear the classic TOS music, not the theme song, but the music. Like Spock fight theme appeared at least once in Strange New Worlds. Last week had a very, very TOS music moment right before the opening credits. So. Was it ever explained how Spock is first officer, but still in the sciences division instead of command division? No. Richard Johnson. I know the Canon purists howled when Kirk met Pike, but since the Khan episode, I'm cool with the retcons. Canon will be honored, but in broad strokes. But I feel Kirk should have met Spock at the Academy. Eric Martin, they dumped the reserve deuterium, but not necessarily the main deuterium stored in the impulse deck. It could be. They could introduce Kirk's wife. In the movie, Kirk had a son. Has a son, dies, but we could introduce the woman who would become Kirk's wife. Really? Kirk's son was Carol Marcus's son. They were never married. I mean, you could maybe bring in Antonia. I think that was her name. But again, whatever. Was George Kirk being the youngest first officer at the time in any beta canon, or is that totally new? I think that's totally new. The 09 movie is where they first used the name Naoda. Yep. I'm well aware. Time for a work break. Are you drinking tonight, Cap? I am, but nobody's super chatted $20, so no, I haven't had anything. Nice at the end to see Kirk, Spock, and Uhura together. I mean, she would be Kirk's wife, but it's revealed by the end of Strange New Worlds that she would go on to father a child with Kirk. Maybe it's on. Are you getting close? What the fuck are you talking about, Seymour? Oh my god. Defiant. We can appreciate the work and he produced while condemning the man. Remember that. Yes, separate the work, separate the art from the artist. I love watching The Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is a fucking amazing show. I loved watching it growing up. I'll watch it again now. Separate the art from the artist. Oh, it was Carol Marcus. They could explain that La'an changes her name to Carol Marcus. What the actual F are you talking about? Some people in this chat, I swear to Kalis, never watched an episode. I feel ya. The Farragut is ugly. The nacelles curve the wrong way. Yes, they do. It's like someone messed up the model kit, put the nacelles on the wrong way. Hypno Amber says, okay, I'm back. Good to see. How's progress coming along, Hypno Amber, on the thing that you were working on for me? Let me know. Mastingo. Deuterium is the least exotic of all Starship fuels. It's easy to get, and its effects are well known. Not everyone has a memory for minutia, Defiant. Mark Henson. I thought he was talking about Sam Kirk's wife. Oh, maybe. What was her name? If he was talking about Sam Kirk's wife, yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd like to meet her and the kid. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, 100%. Separate the art from the artist, but play the artist. Yes. Be nice. From the next generation era, I have gaps in my TOS knowledge. Okay. It's going great. I'll send you an update. I found a cool material that looks like gold metal, so these will look amazing. Thank you, Hypno Amber. That is amazing. Thank you for the update. Mark says, La'an changed her name to Carol Marcus. What? She also decided to be a scientist and create a terraforming device. That's a huge stretch. And become a blonde. I mean, that's not a huge stretch, but you always got the impression that Carol Marcus was always a blonde. Also, Carol would have been a little more conflicted during the Wrath of Khan if she also happened to be his great-great-grand. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Eric Martin throws in $20. I'll break the seal. Thank you, Eric. That's awesome. It's still the apple. I'm almost done the apple. After that, I got peach. So, Eric, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. That tastes phenomenal. Wait. Is she working on something that I would be working on too? No, Matt, she's not. If you really want to know, Matt, I'll let you know. Hypno Amber is making Star Trek pasties for Sylvia. And now everyone knows. Not that they already didn't, because we talked about it on the other live where she offered to do it. And I said to reach out to me and talk to me. So no, Matt, she is absolutely not working on the same thing. It is totally different. But I'll keep you updated with what's going on with that. Don't worry. I'll show them. I'll do a captain's log on them. It sounds really bad, but there we go. Matt, my God, man. An apple shot a day keeps the Starfleet doctor away. Yes, Eric. Mark says it's more likely that the little blonde lab technician from Where No Man Has Gone Before that Gary mentioned was Carol. It was Carol, yes. Fleet pot. Okay, let's move on. We all had bad days. Let's not dwell on it. Yes. 33 grams of deuterium in each cubic meter of seawater. Can't wait for next week's episode. It will be fun to see how they handle the Lower Decks characters, knowing Pike's fate, but not knowing that he knows. To be fair, must be annoying when someone has knowledge of Next Gen onwards era and should really revisit TOS. I did speed watch it. Matt is dying. Yeah. Zachary Gibbons, we know that's not the last time Uhura hallucinates. Remember, the children shall lead. Old Uhura? Yes. Joseph says, I always thought that Carol was the cute little blonde that Gary directed towards Kirk. Yes, that absolutely is the case. Hypno Amber, I drove 40 miles for spinners. Yeah, these are gonna rock. Drove 40 miles? Damn. Yeah, so we're at the 66-minute mark. It's perfect time for this to go off the rails. So delta-shaped pasties in gold and silver with little tassels that spin and can also be removed. You can remove the tassels, just for the record. So Hypno Amber is amazing at making these kind of things, and she offered to make some for me. Well, not for me personally, for Sylvia, but for me. I mean, I will wear them if you want. I'll do a Junkyards and like have the pasties on if you really want. I mean, I could do that. 66-minute mark is where we go off the rails generally. Good job. Good job, everybody. Keeping with the schedule. Would you get a Strange New Worlds uniform? Yes. Yes, I would. Fleetpaw says, sadly, my TOS knowledge is lacking as well, but that's what Google is for, and Memory Alpha. I'm just watching the episodes. Yeah. Hammer comes back as a zombie. Yes. Giggity. Initiate tassel separation. Separation complete. That's good. That's good. You know they want you with pasties on. Hypnover says, I would totally have a Pelia costume. Pelia's costume's kind of cool, yeah. Off the rails and down the hill. That's the way it goes here. Generally, we have a good discussion for about an hour, and then that's when it goes off the rails. And thanks to Matt, who brought it up. I mean, he didn't really bring it up, but I had to answer his query because I didn't want him worried about Matt. I don't even know if Matt's still watching. All right. I don't want to see Cap with pasties. Some lines should not be crossed. Well, careful. Careful. Please, God, don't get a slant. It's going off the rails. Strange no one has mentioned food yet, Matt. Imagine Jeremy Brett with tassels. No, thanks. Scant. Don't get a scant. Okay. I would never. I don't like the scants. I think that's a really bad idea. Hypnover says, if I could afford the shipping, I would send Sam a pair just for him. Like I said, I'd be willing to pay for the shipping and stuff. We'll talk. We'll talk, Hypnover. That'd be a good gig for him. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to shut up. Oh, shit. I just did. I am still here. Matt is still here. Good. Shouldn't you be doing things, Matt? Don't you have work to do? Just kidding. It's fucking idea. Paul Hitchcock says, I've never done a deep dive on nacelle construction, but the nacelle in this episode seemed awfully roomy and spacious for something that's supposed to be filled with warp coils, deuterium scoops, etc. Well, clearly the Jeffries tube goes up the strut, and then you walk along a gangway, and then the room they were in was like right behind the Bizarre collector, probably right about there. Those vents, I'm pointing to this one back here, those vents and everything forward would be the pulling the things in, and then the warp nacelles would probably start right around the back half of the strut where the plasma feed would go up. So you did actually see the strut looking back. You could see the little dots in the end of the nacelle at the end of the corridor. So I actually kind of like the idea. For every super chat, a shot and a pasty twirl. It was great to get a little more hammer, even as a zombie. I mean, speaking of food, had some White Castle burgers from the freezer section the other day. I wish I could get those here. I can't. Stop it. He wants a McDouble just like a Mac. Oh, no. Fleet pot. It's never a McDouble. Okay, we have to do this a fucking again. Always get a double cheeseburger just like a Mac. Or just a double cheeseburger. Never get a McDouble. McDoubles are cheaper. Yeah, they are. And the reason is the meat to cheese ratio is not correct. Fleet paw, you're going to be fired for that one. A McDouble, just like a Mac, no, absolutely not. There's not enough cheese. The cheese ratio is all fucked up. You always get a double cheeseburger. Yes, I know it's more expensive, but that's the point. It's more expensive because it's better. The meat to cheese ratio in a double cheeseburger from McDonald's is where it's at. Get a McDouble because it's cheaper. Yeah, no, don't do that. I'm really disappointed in you, Fleet Paw. Joseph, it's like double cheeseburger just like a Mac. See, he knows. Matt's like, I threw it off the rails. It's all good, Matt. It's all good. Earlier tonight I was watching original series Omega Glory. I could hear Kirk recite what we the people all day. Yeah. Food, okay. Share a quick tip for Canadian style cooking. Matt Borman said, man, I have been working all day. Then I start the night shift in a bit on Project TriStar. Ooh. You haven't used that in a while. I'm happy. Fleet Paw says I have a role play to write for the fleet in NX01, but I'm slacking. I'm tired and haven't had much time recently. Yeah, I haven't seen you around, Fleet Paw. Usually you're in like the Discord commenting on stuff and you just haven't been around, so I hope everything's okay. Feed me Seymour Shima about Prodigy. What went wrong? Why was it canceled? I don't know. It just won an Emmy Award for them and, Best Outstanding Television Show for Kids, whatever. It went wrong because the viewership was down because they really shot themselves in the foot with the way they released it. 5 episodes, then a huge break, then 5 episodes, then an even bigger break, and then the last 10 episodes. The viewership wasn't there for it. Long story. Feed me Seymour. And do you think the Protostar might make a return someday? Maybe I hope so. I think it will at some point. It exists in the ether now, so it'll be used, I'm sure. Eric Martin. I'm working tonight myself, Matt. How to afford the super chats. You're like my boss. You pay me. Because Paramount is fucking stupid. Yeah. Paul Hitchcock, thanks for the nacelle breakdown. Much appreciated. No problem. Actually, we should do a whole video on that. Oh my god, I have to fly to Alaska next month. I'm going to try a caribou dog. Okay. They should release a Star Trek Prodigy comic to continue the story. I'm sure that they have one already. There's some books you can buy. I bought all 3 of the books off of Amazon. Eric Martin, some of these late night lives, you can't even see the rails anymore. That's true. We can still see the rails though. We're still good. Zachary Gibbons says, I'm not big on cheese. The burger meat is what I like. That's a shame. Cheese is like the universal food. Cheese is amazing. You can have cheese on so many things in so many different ways. From cheesecake to cheese burgers to shredded cheese on fries to cheese curds on poutine. Like cheese is like the universal food. I had additional cheese on my microwave cheeseburgers that Dad gets from McDonald's. Sometimes pepperoni too. Nice. Non-Trek question. Oh no. What is that jackass jet with the flames? Or the kick-ass jet? Oh, that's the G.I. Joe Sky Striker. The HasLab G.I. Joe Sky Striker. that I sponsored. I did a whole video on it. It's amazing. I love F-14s and G.I. Joe and the Sky Striker, so I had to get it, of course. Is it just me, or does Stranger Worlds Enterprise very closely resemble Box USS Hood? It does, yes. And his came first, by the way. Feed me Seymour. I have no money, and now I have McDonald's craving. I have burgers in the fridge, but they're not the same. Screams, God. It didn't help that it was on Nickelodeon. Netflix should pick it up, yeah. Verpian says, the cheeseburger that Burger King is selling in Thailand sounds horrid. 24 slices of American cheese between 2 buns. Yeah, that's a little much. I actually have Culver's, like Culver's better than McDonald's. If anyone has ever heard of Culver's, I have not. But I'm just a lowly Canadian. Pike with some purple dye could pull off Boimler's hairstyle. Oh yeah. There's a lot of places way better than McDonald's. Don't get me wrong. Mark is saying Culver's is way better than McDonald's. I don't doubt it. There's so much. Five Guys Burgers and Fries is so much better than McDonald's. Burger Priest here in town is so much better than McDonald's. Even occasionally, you know, Burger King is better than McDonald's. Wendy's is better than McDonald's. But that's not the point. Sometimes you just want a McDonald's burger. You just want a McDonald's double cheeseburger. I'm working a lot, LOL, on driving both ends of the day and training a new driver to boot, hence not being around a lot. But this live every week gives me the oomph to make it to Saturday. That's awesome. Glad to hear, Fleetpaw. $24 slices, and what about beef? No, there's no beef. It's just a cheeseburger. It's just literally cheese. And I think there's ketchup, onions, and pickles on it as well. Don't think that Netflix will pick up Prodigy because Paramount owns Star Trek. Unless Paramount Plus gets closed down, then maybe Netflix might take it on, or Amazon. They have a partnership with Paramount Plus. It might be Amazon. It would probably be Prime or something, but it could be Netflix because the Hagermans have done a lot of things with Netflix. And Paramount Plus is shopping it around to the streaming services to air season 2. So Netflix could very well buy it. To say that they won't do it because it's a Paramount property, no, that's not the case at all. Anyway. I have to snack downstairs. Stop talking about food. I know. Put cheese on anything. It makes it a god tier food. Hypno Amber. We have Culver's here, but I'm not a fan. We got some In-N-Outs, and we are getting some Whataburger. I haven't tried Whataburger. I have tried In-N-Out once, and I enjoyed it, but the setup of the episode was basically a Star Trek bridge crew mission. Yeah, kinda. Maybe a little. Yeah, I see why you'd say that. Have you played the Prodigy game? Have you watched my channel? Yeah, I played the entire Prodigy game, and I'm playing it. I'm going back to play it now to get all the things I missed the first time because I didn't have everybody unlocked. Now that I have everybody unlocked, I can open all the doors and get all the secrets. So yes, I did play a complete playthrough of it during my Captain Foley Plays live streams. Best burger I had: double cheeseburger, barbecue sauce, bacon, onion rings, and a fried egg. It was better than anything McDonald's have ever done, and I love McDonald's, so that's saying something. Five Guys is too effing expensive, but it's worth it. Come on, Texas. Cap, we have Whataburger, best of the best. Come to Texas. Hey, I would love to come to Texas someday, Stephen. And when I do, I'll let you know, because I would like to meet up with you. I mean, I've already met you in Chicago, but didn't get to hang out very much. But yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Defiant says, I'd love to eat burgers with Five Guys. Paul, you, Sky, Blappy, and Sam. Good choices. Fuck Five Guys. Overpriced and not really good, at least by me. Disagree. Oh, up here, they're amazing. Local Burger King is horrible. Half an hour at the drive-thru. Oh no. Matt Berman says that makes my heart hurt just thinking about it. the cheeseburger with 24 slices of cheese and that's it. Yeah. Made to order is simply better when you're getting cheeseburgers. Fleetpaw says the cheeseburger sounds gross. Too much of a good thing is still too much. Mad Spectre says, whoa, 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 what? Cheese on anything. Put cheese on a peanut butter and jelly and see how you like it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I didn't say put cheese on anything. Unless you're responding to somebody else, but I'm just saying cheese is like the universal food. You can make it in so many different ways. You can liquefy it, you can dip things in it like a fondue, you can sprinkle it on, you can melt it in, you can, like I said, make cheesecake, you can have spreadable cheese like cream cheese, got cottage cheese, lots of different forms of cheeses. That's all I'm saying. I hope Paramount doesn't get closed down, but I could see Netflix taking it on. Netflix picked up a show called Manifest and completed that series. Yeah. Femi Seymour says they put cocaine in McDonald's burgers. That has to be the reason. I mean, it's not the best burger, but you want it for some reason. It's a rare phenomenon. Yeah. Whataburger is good when I went there 3 years ago, but in more recent years, it's gone downhill. That seems to be the case with a lot of places, or at least a lot of locations of different franchises. Pretty sure Prodigy was canceled because it was confounded by Nickelodeon and they won't fund season 2. Same thing happened with Picard and Amazon. It was fun when Kirk talked about a real cookie. I don't want a cookie. Well, now you do sound crazy. Whenever I go to Five Guys, I always ask for the fries in a separate bag. One, so that I don't receive 3 degrees burns when getting my burger, and 2, so I can take all the peanuts. Yeah. Now that the actress has grown her hair out, next season they should have her do TOS Uhura hair. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Richard Johnson says, I think the only other time we've seen the Bizarres actually collect something was in Insurrection. Yeah. Yep. Well, an extra sharp cheddar with the sweetness of the jelly and saltiness of the peanuts sounds amazing. There is a way Paramount Plus could be better. They need to partner with Warner Brothers and make a joint stream service. Why? Paramount owns CBS. Warner made shows for CBS. Eric Martin says, now I'm thinking of a stack of beef nachos smothered with cheese. I always find the nachos go soggy. I'm not the biggest fan of nachos with all the toppings on them. They just go soggy after a while. It's like, ugh. Spray cheese, nectar of the gods, right, Stuart? Yes. Spray cheese on crackers is amazing. Or hot dogs. Putting spray cheese on hot dogs is pretty good too. Red Robin's makes a good burger. They do. I've had Red Robin. Hooters is good too with their buttered buns. Indeed. Wendy's here butters their buns as well. So, come on, do the commercial. What commercial? What are you talking about, Fleetpaw? I don't know the commercial. Matt Boardman, again, the season wasn't canceled. Paramount still paid to have it finished. Paramount Plus has just chosen not to carry it. Feed Me Seymour says, when do you think we will get Star Trek Legacy with Enterprise GTV show? Has there been any news on it? Don't know. Don't know. No, there hasn't been any news. Don't hold your breath. Red Robin, yum. Of course, as in a horror episode, this one falls because she doesn't sing. Nah. Hooters used to have great buffalo wings. But Hooters has Hooters, so regardless of what the food is. Did I just say a bad thing? Probably. Actually, grilled cheese with Munster cheese and PB is surprisingly... Ooh. I got a dog that's dreaming. She's growling and barking in her dream. That's precious, in case anybody notices. Not that it's precious that she's doing it, because it absolutely is precious that she's doing it, but it's Precious the dog that's doing it. Just so you guys are aware which dog it is. Not Lola, not Dot, but Precious. Was Kirk's background a security officer, or am I just making that up? If yes, then him letting a hallucinating Uhura run around the Enterprise with the phaser seems like a poor choice. No, not that I recall that he was ever in security, no. Eric Martin says, gotta go. Fading and I have to finish some work. Go finish your work. Good to see you. He was a weapons officer in the Frigate and the Republic, I think. Dan Cron, it says, really digging Stranger World so far. Yes, absolutely. Fleet Pause says, Starfleet Academy is all the rage. Legacy is yesterday's news, at least according to Kurtzman. Oh my god. I'm going to have another shot just because I can. Apple Crown Royal, just so you guys know. Almost gone, too. It's a bit of a shame. Oh, guys. Who wants a preview, a sneak peek of what next week's Captain Foley's personal channel video is going to be about? Anybody? Cheers. I'll be better than Sam always says the next $20 super chat. But I'm going to say the next $5 super chat. Because I haven't had a lot of super chats this live. Another $5 would be awesome. But I'd like to show you guys what next week's Captain Foley personal channel video will be about. It's already filmed. Matt, don't tell them. Matt already knows. Twin Peaks is similar to Hooters. It was interesting having a conversation with this 20-something-year-old cutie. I felt like I was talking to a 10-year-old. Do you ever read the Star Trek Early Voyages comics? Some great Pike stories in that series. Yeah, I have read some. Zachary Gibbons says yes. Would be cool to see a murder mystery dinner party on the Enterprise with Spock playing a Sherlock-type character. Interesting, yeah. Starfleet Academy is all the rage. Legacy is yesterday's news, at least according to Kurtzman. F. Kurtzman. Has Kurtzman confirmed that 40-year-old idea that no one bought is more popular than what we actually want? Sometimes I question Kurtzman's sanity. Yeah. Ooh, there's $5 Australian. Done. Thank you. All right. Oh my god. So, as you guys know, Diamond Select makes some really cool ships. Now, I've already kind of shown some of my Diamond Select ships, but I recently got a new one. I was downtown at a comic shop here in London, which is a huge comic store. Like, you could not see everything in this place if you were in there for like 4 hours. You would miss something because it's so packed and so awesome. But I found something really cool that I wanted to pick up. And that is, and this will be the video for next Wednesday on the Captain Foley personal channel. I picked up an Enterprise refit, but not just any Enterprise refit. This is the battle damaged refit. Now, they say it's the Wrath of Khan refit, and it is. It's got the Wrath of Khan damage. It's got all the damage, even up here and on this side. But it's also got the Star Trek 3 self-destruct damage. So, the video next week's about this. And this is a limited edition one. But that's what the video is going to be about. So, there you go. Hope that's a good enough sneak peek. Hope you guys enjoy the video. It's a complete unboxing. Should I have unboxed it? I mean, there's not many of them. I don't give a shit. I'm going to use it and play with it and display it. So, of course, I'm going to unbox it. Plus, you get to see what it's like to unbox it. I don't know. But there you go. That's quite the detail in there. I have some complaints. Typical Diamond Select complaints. But I'll let the video explain those to you guys when you watch it. So, if you're not subscribed to the Captain Foley personal channel, what is wrong with you? Go do it. Stern Von Elk says, got the impression from Gary Mitchell that Kirk was a bookworm at the Academy and he got hazed by Finnegan, probably an operations officer with rotations. Yes, the walking stack of books, as he was called. They missed a good opportunity for Kirk to open up to Uhura about that one time the Farragut lost half of its crew and he blames himself for not shooting. Ah, yes, obsession. Fleet Palace says, not with certainty defiant, but he's got got it in his head, so it's probably going to happen. Neil Hammersmith, my God, Foley, what have you done? Get out! Get out of there! Have a Diamond Select retcon refit without damage. Sits on my disc at work. Yeah, I've got two of them. I've got the Star Trek 2 one without the damage, and I've also got the movie, the motion picture one that has the pearlescent paint. Problem is, somebody sent me the one with the pearlescent paint, and the problem is I only have one nacelle for it. They lost the other nacelle, so that's why they sent it to me. They're like, I don't. Can you use it? I'm like, yeah, sure, send it along. I'll see if I can find another nacelle. Good luck finding a pearlescent Diamond Select motion picture refit nacelle. So I've got one. It's only got one nacelle on it. Looks kind of silly, but hey. No bloody A, B, C, D, or what? Hitchcock, oh man. I've got that Enterprise. It's the first repaint variant Artisan did after releasing 1701A, which was the first Connie they put out. Fleetpaw said, there is no one on the bridge. It appears to be ran by computer. Is the only thing speaking. Speaking? Let me hear. 6, 5, 4, 3. Get out! Get out of there! Sternbone says, mine is pearlescent. There you go. Send me, I think it's the starboard nacelle. Send me both nacelles just to be safe, so I can complete mine. Thanks, appreciate it. Life is better without the box. Enjoy. I still have the box. I kept the box because it's a limited edition one. I got to keep the box in case I ever do want to sell it, because then it's more worth the box. Even if it is out of the box, still having the box, but the limited edition ones is important. So anyway, like I said, I have issues with it because of certain things with it, but honestly, you need to watch the video for that. Because as much as I love Diamond Select, and I love what they did, and I love what they don't, I don't love what they do now, because they don't have the Star Trek license. I really don't give a shit what Diamond Select does, because they only do like action figures and stuff. But when they had the Star Trek license, they did amazing work, especially on the ships for a while, and then there were some problems. But anyway, regardless, that one has some issues. If you want to check out what they are and find out my thoughts on it, by all means, check out the video that'll be coming out next Wednesday on the Captain Foley personal channel, which I'm surprised Fleetbot hasn't shared the link to the Captain Foley personal channel yet. So if you guys aren't subscribed, you can go subscribe. But anyway, you know. He's already been fired tonight for saying a McDouble instead of a double cheeseburger. So maybe that's why he's not sharing it. Would be interesting to see Strange New Worlds. Seeing Strange New Worlds, another Constitution getting a refit before the Enterprise. When are we going to see Spock in a space fun helmet? Sternbone says hard pass, but I don't know about what. Oh, sending me in the nacelles. Thank you. Thank you for passing on that. I really appreciate that, Dick. It's fine. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. They should do an episode that brings back the recast Guinan and gives her 100-year-old beef with Pelia. Ooh, that'd be great. I would love to see the Phase 2 cell refit on screen at some point. Phase 2 was pretty cool. They are in the New Voyages videos, fan films. And that looks great, by the way. Paul Hitchcock, still disappointed that this Diamond Select never found a way to get out the Reliant they had been working on for years. Yes, they were working on the Reliant and the Enterprise C, and they never got them out. They got out the Enterprise C Gold Edition for San Diego Comic-Con, which I have in the other room. No electronics in it. It's just the shell and it's gold. But yeah, they had shown a Reliant on some of their box art, and it never came out, and it's such a shame. The Reliant as a Diamond Select ship would have been amazing. Fleetpaw throws in $5. My God, Bones, what have I done? What you had to do, what you always do. Turn death into a fighting chance to live. April is here. Good evening, Stuart. Oh, there's Captain Foley personal channel. Notice how Fleepa hasn't said anything about the cheeseburger snafu. That's interesting. Turn death into a fighting chance to buy an awesome model. Sternbonok said, you're a model maker. Why not apply a pearlescent coating to your nacelles? Because I'm missing a nacelle. I've got other complete refits. I have one pearlescent one that doesn't have any, or that is missing a nacelle. I'm not going to take one of my good nacelles off one of my other good ships to paint it pearlescent. Plus, to get the matching paint for this kind of pearlescent, because of the plastic they use, would be damn near impossible to make it match. So, not that I haven't considered getting one, like finding one at a garage sale and just using that nacelle and, yes, painting it. It would never match correctly because of the plastic they use. So, yeah, it's kind of out of the question at this point. So right now, I'm still always on the lookout for a pearlescent nacelle from a Diamond Select motion picture enterprise. Will I find one? Probably not, but it is what it is. It's fine. So, anyway. April, I did enjoy the suite. It was very amazing. It sounded really great, and it was great. It was great. If I hadn't tried, the cost would have been my soul. April says, wait, I just got here. What cheeseburger snafu? Not important, April. Stephen W. Fathery, I love the Phase 2. Might be my favorite of this, or second favorite version of the Connie. I love the old school Jeffries design. I used to hate the refit, but it's grown on me. I hated the pylons on models. Yeah, they need to be reinforced 90% of the time. Fleetpaw said, I honestly forgot it was a double cheeseburger and not a McDouble. We haven't had McDelivery in a while. It's true. But I did a whole, every time I rant about the meat to cheese ratio, double cheeseburger has 2 slices of cheese. The McDouble only has 1. And my buddy Jay is always like, just buy the McDouble, it's cheaper. I'm like, by 30 fucking cents. Just buy the fucking double cheeseburger. It tastes so much better. It's worse for you. And yeah, it costs more, but it's goddamn worth it. Well, just buy the other one and put your own slice of cheese on it. Well, first of all, the processed cheese or the American cheese that we have here doesn't taste like the McDonald's cheese. They have their own special cheese that they use. So it doesn't taste at all the same if you do that. Plus, you got to go all the way home and then do that. It's just a fucking mess. Why do that? Just spend the extra 30 cents, grab yourself a double cheeseburger, and enjoy it, as opposed to cheaping out and having a really bad meat to cheese ratio. I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about my meat to cheese ratio on my burgers. Mind if I link the suite here in the chat? I mean, no, go ahead. You're an admin. You should be able to do that. Feed Me Seymour. I have a theory about the Strange New Worlds Crossfield class variant ship. The design was made by Section 31 just in case the Glenn Discovery classified info ever leaked. And we see it in the season. Well, we talked about that quite in detail at some point. There's different reasons that the Crossfield could look like that. But hey, I'm not going to get into it here. If you had a magic cupboard, which of your models goes in it? Oh, like Indian in the cupboard? I don't know. Like, would it make it full size or would it just make it real but the same size? Don't know. So April shared the Trekyards music suite. It's a bunch of music he composed for Trekyards videos. Check it out. It's on his YouTube channel. It is amazing. If you love Star Trek music and want to hear something really great, go check it out. And please like the video, comment, say that Captain Foley sent you from one of his lives. I'd really appreciate that. And so would Justin. Or April, sorry. Prepa says, I also rarely eat McDonald's either. It's expensive and bad for you, and it makes me gain 10 kilograms. Just looking at it. Mark says, I agree. The meat to cheese ratio makes all of my decisions in life. Feed Me Seymour, would be interested in Foley coming to England and raiding our McDonald's. I've been to your McDonald's. When I first arrived in England and I was driving back to Samuel's place, the flight was like 5 hours, 45-minute flight, whatever. Because of 2 accidents on your fucking roadway system that has no shoulders, by the way, that you can pull off on, the drive from the airport to Samuel's place was longer than my flight. And I had rented a car, so I was driving on the wrong side of the road because you guys are, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking. That's not the right side of the that's not the correct side of the car to put the driver on. But anyway, so yeah, on the way, I was cranky, and Samuel decided we should pull over and get some McDonald's. And actually, I don't even know what I ordered. I know I got chicken nuggets, but burger-wise, I'm not sure what I got. Anyway, so yes, I have had your McDonald's, but I should do a very honest review. Honestly, I love McDonald's fries, but damn, Five Guys has some... Oh, their fries are good. Larger individual fries, and good lord, them portions. I'm torn. Goddamn torn. Like a hymen. British is Mirror Universe. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Ah, well. Alright, guys. In conclusion, Lost in Translation is the name of this episode. It was good. It was by no means amazing. It was no means incredible. It was very good. For Strange New Worlds, it was okay. For New Trek, it was very good. It was awesome. So, everybody got something to do. Ortega's not so much. Everybody else kind of got a good run at dialogue and stuff to do. So I thought it was great. There were a few snafus for me, like Kirk and Spock shaking hands, things like that. Not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but, you know, things we need to talk about on a channel like this, just in order to have content. Here, I'll take it off. Come here. Oh, there you go. So overall, I enjoyed it. It's not the best of the season by any means. It's probably lower middle as for me. But I did enjoy it. It was a cool horror story and kind of nice. So, but anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there for tonight, guys. It has been fun. I still have to take the garbage out because Quiet did it, but he did it incorrectly because of course he did. So anyway, I gotta go fix that snafu. But anyway, this has been a fun discussion. But yeah, we went off the rails with like pasties and then food and no, I didn't say pastries. I said pasties. So yeah, welcome to Trekyards After Dark, or Captain Foley After Dark. You never know where it's gonna go. But anyhow, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Our edited review will be up midday, and then of course we have our live complete breakdown and review at 4 p.m. So if you can join us for that, please do so. I want to see you guys there. I want you to comment and hang out with us and bring up your valid points, even your invalid points. Come and talk to us. We want to have a conversation. We don't just want to spew out our thoughts and ideas. We want to hear your input as well. So until next time, I'm Captain Foley. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go subscribe to the Captain Foley personal channel so you don't miss out on the Battle Damage Diamond Select refit video next Wednesday. Do it. Lots to do. You got a lot of homework, guys. Go do it. Bye, everybody.